I'm here now with Patrick Stevens, one of the best bracketologists in the country. You can currently see his work at the Washington Post. Patrick, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much for having me, Nico.
Let's get right into it. You know what I'm going to ask about. Syracuse, the loss today, what did it do?
It certainly was the last opportunity that Syracuse had to distinguish itself in any way, and certainly its last chance to distinguish itself away from home. And yeah, it was a close loss. They played okay, but they didn't get a win, and now they're 2-11 away from home. Personally, I don't see them being selected for the Field of 68 come Sunday night. I wouldn't say it's impossible. We'll see if the committee has some different ideas. But for me, when I size up their profile, it's a distinguishing factor, and not in a good way. They just simply did not beat anybody particularly good away from home, and that's something that's just not going to be rewarded most years.
So that's definitely the case against them, no question about it. Should the committee have other ideas, what would be the case for Syracuse?
The case for Syracuse is that they've beaten a bunch of good teams. They've beaten Duke, they've beaten Virginia, they've beaten Florida State, they've beaten Miami, they've beaten Wake Forest. Those are all very solid wins, and you could compare them to like a Kansas State or somebody like that, and it's a better top of the profile. There's no doubt about that. But again, performance away from home is a really distinguishing factor. You looked at it last year, that was what got Syracuse in, is because they won at Duke. It's because they won it against Texas A&M and Connecticut in the Bahamas. They don't have that this year. That's something that they do not compare favorably to everybody else that you're looking at the edge of the field.
Hey, you led perfectly into my next question. If there is the opportunity for Orange fans to root against somebody, who would those be?
Lots of teams to root against here over the next couple days. Out in the Pac-12, California, you'd certainly look at Iowa and Illinois in the Big Ten, Vanderbilt in the SEC. Doesn't hurt to root against Marquette and Kansas State in the Big 12. So I think that pretty much covers it in terms of teams you'd want to be rooting against.
Well, Patrick Stevens, I wish I was hanging out with you here for a few more days, and unfortunately, we're about to hit the road. Enjoy the rest of the ACC tournament.
And safe travels back home for you.
Thank you.
Matt, one thing to know about Patrick, he has had the highest percentage of teams right in the tournament of any bracketologist over the last few years. So what he says carries a little bit of weight.
Oh, may he get like 63 right and one wrong.
Just this one wrong,
time.
please.
We'll be right back.